Drive-thrus are few and far between on Franklin Street, but the town council approved one for a coffee giant.
Small businesses come and go in historic downtown Chapel Hill. However, this new life sciences center may be displacing some of the town's favorites.
Critical race theory, coronavirus vaccine mandates, and Medicaid bills keep advancing through the state legislature. What this means for North Carolinians, coming up on Carolina Week.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Good morning, Tar Heels, and welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Abigail Whittington.
And I'm Lauren Lovett. Walking around Franklin Street or Rosemary Street recently, you've probably noticed lots of construction. It's part of the new Life Sciences Center coming to 306 West Franklin Street. We now go to CW reporter Ashna Shah live near the site with the latest.
As you can see behind me, we're currently at the site, and this block employs a lot of small businesses. If the Life Sciences Center were to enter this space, then the town of Chapel Hill would look drastically different. Other concerns from the town hall meeting include lack of concern for minority groups in the community, as well as losing the charm of downtown Chapel Hill. Longfellow Real Estate, the developer of this project, will need to alter their plans to meet the residents and the town somewhere in the middle before applying for the town's approval. I'm Asha Shah, reporting live from Chapel Hill.
Thanks, Ashna. When Franklin Street in Chapel Hill becomes Main Street in Carborough, it's not just the street name that changes. What about parking regulations? In Chapel Hill, the price to park ranges from $1.50 to $1.75 per hour, and parking violations begin at $15. When Franklin turns into Main Street right here, you enter Carborough, where parking is completely free. Cars must be moved after 2 hours, but Carborough's economic development director says this policy is rarely enforced.
The town of Chapel Hill approved a highly anticipated drive-thru for the Dunkin' Donuts on East Franklin Street. CW's Katie Lynn joins us live.
That's right, Abigail. Right here behind me is where the new drive-thru will be built. It is expected to include a 10-car stack with a drive-thru window located at the 5th car. For years, community members in Dunkin' Donuts have pushed for rezoning that would allow for a drive-thru. The Chapel Hill Town Council finally approved the motion, expected to increase accessibility and distancing, but also earnings and employment for the franchise. Here's what one East Franklin Dunkin' Donuts customer said about the changes.
Children or animals in the car to have to get out of the car, or if you're elderly or disabled to have to get out of the car to order when you could just use a drive-through and drive right on through.
The next step for the town will be finalizing the plan for the drive-thru. In Chapel Hill, I'm Katie Lynn, Carolina Week.
Thanks, Katie. A coffee drive-thru just feels like a necessity in a college town, Lauren.
I can't believe I've been here for 3 years without one.
Well, I spent 4 years without one, and of course it happens when I'm graduating. On campus, nursing students could see disruptions in their routine next semester when Carrington Hall is demolished. It's the building that currently houses the School of Nursing, which the UNC Board of Trustees unanimously approved to demolish this coming fall. Alternate locations for nursing classes haven't been finalized, according to the university, but the plans are in the works. The change has left some students with questions about what their next semester might look like.
Obviously, I'm pretty excited, to have a new nursing school that's updated with new technology and a nice facility in general, but I'm also a little bit worried about disruptions to our classes and nursing practice.
Of Nursing building is slated to open in 2026.
Now for an update on the creation of the School of Civic Life and Leadership. At a recent Board of Trustees University Affairs Committee meeting, tensions grew when the faculty council chair and board members disagreed on the timeline of the School of Civic Life and Leadership from first approval to approval. Mimi Chapman, who was elected as chair in 2020, also said many faculty members on campus were upset with how some board members spoke about them in recent op-eds, which board members say they didn't do with any ill intent. UNC raised nearly $10 million during this year's Give UNC Day. The money will go towards scholarships, programs, and other initiatives within UNC schools. To learn more, visit giveunc.unc.edu.
Every year for the past 25 years, Carolina for the Kids hosts a dance marathon. This year, the organization raised more than $290,000. That's nearly $2,200 more than last year. And it'll all go to UNC Children's Hospital patients and their families who can't afford their medical bills.
Speaking of investing in our community, President Biden was just a few miles down the road for his Investing in America tour yesterday.
That is right, Lauren. After the break, we talk about his tour, North Carolina politics, and massive bills moving through state legislature.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
In Durham, highlighting recent legislative achievements. He visited microchip manufacturer Wolfspeed, where he talked about the state of American manufacturing and praised the American Rescue Plan. The president's next appearances include Texas, Ohio, and 20 other states in the coming weeks.
North Carolina Treasurer Dale Folwell officially announced his bid for governor. Folwell will likely have to beat Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson for the Republican nomination, who is expected to announce his bid in April. Meanwhile, State Attorney General Josh Stein is currently the only Democrat in the race.
The State House passed the Equality in Education Bill along party lines last week. Also known as the Anti-Critical Race Theory Bill, House Bill 187 is similar to ones introduced in other states like Florida and would prevent public school teachers from teaching about race and gender in certain contexts. Jeff Tybury, a politics reporter at local NPR affiliate WUNC, says that the new rules will be hard to enforce.
Are we going to see district attorneys or sheriffs going after teachers? Is it going to be parents who are reporting teachers? Is it going to lead to more teachers quitting? And again, I go back to is there really a problem here, or is this potentially going to create some bigger issues and problems for public school systems?
Governor Cooper vetoed a similar bill in 2021.
Governor Roy Cooper signed Medicaid expansion into law this week, with a few caveats. More than 600,000 North Carolinians without health care insurance could become eligible for Medicaid. It will also scale back Certificate of Need regulations, making it easier to open new healthcare facilities, but not until the new state budget is approved sometime this summer. Abby Emanuelson, the director for Care for Carolina, says that this is a relief after years of fighting for expansion.
Certainly a little bit of relief that we finally got here to this point, but also just some excitement for the fact that so many North Carolinians are going to have access to affordable health care.
Another bill moving through the North Carolina House would ban universities and government agencies from requiring COVID-19 vaccines. UNC doesn't require staff or students to receive a vaccine or booster, and they don't have to indicate whether or not they're vaccinated. The state government doesn't mandate vaccines either. House Republican John Hardister, one of the primary sponsors of the bill, sees the bill as a preventative measure against any future mandates.
It is an effort to be proactive and to provide peace of mind for state employees and citizens who may be worried that the mandate could return if there was an escalation and a mutation of the virus.
Wall, an expert in infectious disease, says that the vaccines have proven to be safe and that the bill would be devastating if a new variant emerged.
this law would prevent us from implementing the major tool that we have in our toolbox to prevent us from having this spread. Why would we do that to ourselves?
As the Chinese app TikTok faces bans around the world, TikTok CEO Shou Zi-Chew testified before the U.S. House Committee for Energy and Commerce about national security concerns. Reporter Sarah Choi asked UNC students what the potential ban would mean for them.
TikTok is already banned on government-owned devices. But what if it got banned on personal devices too? One said she'd find a way to use it.
I would definitely use a VPN because I wouldn't let that stop me.
Another would find an alternative.
If I had to, yeah, I would. I don't really like Reels that much.
Others zeroed in on the questions asked during the congressional hearing and found them rather out of touch.
I thought it was kind of funny how bad some of the questions were from like the US representatives. Like it was a lot of older like people who I don't think really understand how phones and like apps work.
They were like does it connect to Wi-Fi? Like, of course it does, it's an app.
It's not just the everyday user that wants it to stay. Some content creators make a living solely on the app. One of them is UNC student and TikTok influencer Reese Tuggle.
I do depend on this money. I don't have another job, and so this is actually what helps get me through college. So if something were to ever happen to TikTok, I actually would have to look for other options on how to get myself through college.
Politicians across the aisle are in favor of restricting access to the app, but it's still not clear whether TikTok will face a nationwide ban and how it would impact American users. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sarah Choi, Carolina Week.
I wish this cold weather could be banned.
I am right there with you, Abigail. Corey, please tell us some good news.
Yeah, guys, the good news is it's going to remain dry because it has been rainy the last few days, but here you can see nice and dry. We had a system last night move off the coast here, leaving us with nice and dry weather with high pressure dominating the region, suppressing that cloud cover. Nice dry as you can see, but it will also be chilly here. You can see might not even get to 60 degrees here in the high 50s. You see a little bit of a local area of cooler weather here with the darker greens here. That's because we have a little bit more cloud cover locally, making it more of a local chillier day for us here in the RDU region. So make sure to have on your second layer as you're out and about here for class in the mid 50s by noon. Only going to get up to the upper 50s, guys, here. Might not even crack 60 degrees. So nice and chilly, remaining nice and clear with cloud cover decreasing throughout the day. And once again, we're watching another system for your weekend here. If we look at the map here, we're looking at spatially in terms of the rain. We have a cold front here lining the Appalachians out ahead of it. We're going to see some of that rain. We're kind of splitting in between two rain systems here. As it moves through, the Appalachians could break it up. It may not. We'll see. But as of now, it has more of the severe threat to our south, more of the moderate rain up to our north. So we're splitting it. I'm going to break down why there could be a chance for severe weather, though. It's going to be because of moisture and possibly shear here. You can see we're going to have plenty of moisture here in place here with the blues. A lot of moisture coming from the Gulf, fueling some of that storm activity we possibly could be seeing. So that's going to be in place. Also, shear. Winds are going to be whipping in the upper levels. Shear is how wind changes with height, and that impacts how widespread storms can be and how severe they can be in terms of how windy it can get, and maybe even a tornado. I'm not going to say there could be a tornado, but I wouldn't rule it out at this point here. Lots of shear in place with the reds. But all in all, guys, it'll be a dry outlook here if we look to the next few days here. Coolest day of the week, drying out for your Wednesday, remaining nice and dry for your Thursday, and Friday are warmest. Getting warm for your Friday, making a nice end of your week for school and your work week. Saturday, rain gets introduced once again back into the region. A chance of a thunderstorm as well, remaining nice and warm, drying out and cooling down a bit for the end of your weekend. So all in all, it'll be a nice and dry outlook. But in spirit of how warm it's been this winter and the beginning of the spring, I'm going to have a trivia question for you guys to figure out. And it is, what is the highest temperature ever recorded in March according to the RDU reports? We have some three choices. What do you guys think?
I think I'm going to go with A, 90 degrees.
Okay. What about you?
I'm going to be a little more risky. I'm going to go with B, 94.
94. Okay. A lot of warm temperatures here. Well, guys, you'll have to stay tuned after the break for the answer.
Also, after the break, sports extra anchor Jasmine Baker joins us for the latest on Tar Heel athletics.
I might have some news that'll help ease the minds of Carolina fans, Abigail. Stay tuned.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
Poor kitchen now.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking around to hear the answer to this week's trivia question. The answer was B, 94 degrees on this day.
Good job.
Good job. It was on this day, March 29th, back in 1907. I can't believe how warm it got here, guys.
Well, now it's time to hear from Sports Extra anchor Jasmine Baker. What's that good news you teased us with?
Lauren, it's been kind of a rough week of news for our basketball team, but it's time for the silver lining. It looks like brown might be the new blue. At least that's what Tar Heel fans are saying about the newest member of the men's basketball team, Paxton Wojcik. Wojcik is a 6'5" guard from Indiana. He started his collegiate career at Loyola Chicago before transferring to Brown. Wojcik is coming off a fantastic season, averaging 14.9 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. Another key feature for the Heels will be his three-point shot, as he has hit 38% from the three-point line. Wojcik's presence on the court, as well as his status as a grad transfer, might bring up thoughts of a Brady Manick-type player. Coming off a home series rivalry win, the Diamond Heels saw what it takes to win these games and the type of performance they need from the bullpen going into their game Tuesday night against number 19, Coastal Carolina. With a scoreless first two innings, Vance Honeycutt launched the ball out to center field, advancing Kobe Wilkerson and scoring Hunter Stokely. In the bottom of the seventh, Johnny Kazignagi had a major hit to center field, scoring Casey Cook and Jackson Van de Break to put the Heels up 7-4. The eighth inning was the game changer when the bullpen gave up 3 walks and hits that advanced 8 Coastal Carolina players to score. The Tar Heels were unable to get it done out of the bullpen, which led to a painful 12-7 loss. Coach Forbes still expressed positivity when addressing what went wrong, despite getting ejected for arguing what he believed was the most pivotal pitch of the game.
All the time, it's just like AC to start the inning, out, home run, walk. If he gets that next guy out, I can honestly tell you guys that big inning probably doesn't happen. So I still love Poston. He's been good. You know, he just walked 2 guys.
The Diamond Heels will return to ACC play as they travel to South Bend, Indiana Friday for a weekend series against Notre Dame. The UNC softball team is back in Chapel Hill tonight to take on East Carolina. The Tar Heels picked up their first ACC series win of the season last weekend, defeating Boston College to improve their record to 13-21. They hope to ride this momentum into the midweek matchup against ECU, whose record sits at 21-12. They're led by Taylor Edwards, who's batting .371, and Addie Bullis, who holds an ERA of 1.52 in 20 appearances. This will be a tough battle for the Tar Heels before traveling to Charlottesville for a weekend series against Virginia. Woolen Gymnasium is known for being the hotspot on UNC's campus for some good old-fashioned pickup basketball. But what goes down in the basement of Woolen involves neither dribbling nor shooting. Rylan Kalush has the story.
Located in the depths of Woolen Gymnasium, the Carolina Taekwondo Club teaches students World Taekwondo Style Poomsae, which is a series of attack and defense forms. The club also participates in competitions against other schools across the country. Active member Naomi Novick started doing Taekwondo when she was just 9 years old, but also enjoyed participating in a variety of other sports.
When I was little, I used to do soccer, basketball, gymnastics, and then more recently in high school, I did cross country and started women's lacrosse, which I still do now.
Even though Novick loves doing Taekwondo, she says it's her teammates who make the club so enjoyable.
The most fun thing to do is just hang out with them, usually on team dinners after practices.
UNC junior Ronan Stack has participated in the club since day one on campus and is thankful for the community the club has given him.
I think it's expanded my friend group a lot. I didn't know a lot of people at UNC when I came here, but the club really expanded that.
Club members are always eager to welcome new students to add to the community that makes the club so special. With practices serving both beginners and advanced students, the Carolina Taekwondo Club is truly for anyone and everyone. I'm Ryan Kolush reporting.
The Carolina Taekwondo Club hosted a successful competition in Woolen Gym this past weekend. Coming off a third-place showing at the Eagle Championship, the Gym Heels are looking towards nationals, traveling to the NCAA Denver Regional Meet this weekend. At the Eagle Meet, sophomore Lali Dekanoidze won bars with a score of 9.95, followed by Isabel Schaefer with a 9.9. Louisiana Lightning Julia Noer scored a 9.9 on floor, which secured her the event win. The Gym Heels will face Arizona in the play-in round of the regional tomorrow at 4. The fourth-ranked UNC men's golf traveled to Palm City, Florida on Tuesday for the Valspar Collegiate Invitational. Senior Dylan Minati tied his season best with a score of 65, and senior David Ford shot a bogey-free in the final round with a 68. Tar Heels placed first, beating 5 other top 10 teams, shooting 27 under 825. It is their 4th tournament title of the year. As the basketball team still has a few scholarships open, you won't want to miss Sports Extra on Friday for the latest update on who will wear Carolina blue next season. Join us for all of the highlights from another exciting week of Carolina athletics. We'll be right back.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
This week, you're probably planning your class schedule for next semester. Here's something else you might want to put on your calendars. The Playmakers Repertory Company released the show lineup for its next season. Highlights include Misery and Murder on the Orient Express. Tickets go on sale in July. Find out more information at playmakersrep.org.
Lauren, are you any good at singing?
Of course I am. I'm actually in a music class right now.
That's incredible. The UNC Loreleis are performing their spring concert this Friday. CW reporter Kelly Kendall caught up with the all-female a cappella group as Women's History Month comes to a close.
It's a quiet Monday night outside of the George Watts Hill Alumni Center. But on the lower level, down some stairs and through some halls, it's a different story. This is UNC's premier upper voices a cappella group, better known as the Loreleis. Made up of 15 women, the Loreleis are more than an all-female a cappella group, they're best friends.
It's just something about being with people all the time, singing with them. You're a little vulnerable singing with people and performing with them, so you get to create bonds that you don't with a lot of other people in different settings.
The group performs everything from oldies to pop to R&B. They said they admire great female vocalists from the past and the present, like Aretha Franklin, Florence Welch, and Ariana Grande.
There's so many current women, and of course in the past, but now too, that are just pushing for, artistic equality, sexual equality, just in so many ways. And I think that makes their music even more beautiful and more empowering.
The Loreleis also look to empower women. Concert week, meaning the group is practicing late into the night every day. It can be tiring. That's why the Loreleis work to support each other. The Loreleis have been on campus for 40 years. Across generations and different backgrounds, they are bonded by one thing, the music.
It's so raw. It's human voice, 16 human voices. I think that's why it's just so cool. Like there's no other word for it. It's just really cool.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Kelly Kendall.
Carolina Week. The Lorelei Spring Concert is on March 31st at 7:30 p.m. in the Student Union Auditorium. Student tickets are $10 and can be bought online.
And before we go, we want to send a special congratulations to our very own Dr. Charlie Tuggle for being inducted into the Florida Journalism Hall of Fame.
Yes, we are so proud of you and appreciate all that you do for us here in the journalism school.
Thanks for watching Carolina Week, your UNC and Chapel Hill area news source.
We will see you next week.